I bought a button maker for my Etsy site. So as I'm working on, in my head, working on the details for making my Halloween box cards, I'm thinking, what can I add to the box cards that will give it a little more flair, other than the little pearl things that I have, um, because I see on some of the box card images on the SVG Cuts website, where I get my box card images from, they have like buttons on the front or the side of the box card. And I mean, I don't mean like button as in like button with the thing that you put on your shirt. I mean the kind that go on your shirt, like, to button your shirt with. And I don't want to use buttons like that. And I just thought it would be nice to include something that someone can take off the card and put on their shirt. Or maybe like you send a Halloween card to a family and they have a child, and so the child takes the button off and puts it on their jacket or their backpack or whatever for school. I just thought that would be something different that I could add to the box cards. So I went on Amazon, did a little research for prices and whatnot, and find out what kind of a button maker would be best for a starter. And I found, dropped my little remote. So I found this one box button maker machine that it was about $117, and it makes 3 different sizes of buttons. I was gonna get the 1-inch size, only 1-inch, because it was like $70. And then I thought, I don't want to be restricted to just making one size. And I wasn't sure what 1-inch buttons would look like. And I was searching in my closet for a pair of suspenders, because I wanted to find a button that I bought from Etsy many years ago that says this. And this is a 1 1/4 inch. And so by the time I found this, it was already too late. I bought the machine that had the 3 sizes, and but I also bought a box that has 300 button materials to make 1-inch buttons. And so when I finally found the button with my suspenders, and looked at how big it was, I went back to Amazon and ordered the box of 300 1 1/4 inch button. And so everything came, and I made a few buttons, I made a lot of buttons for my Etsy shop. And so it's when you start doing a new project, you have to learn how to do everything. And you're going to make a lot of mistakes. I mean, a lot of mistakes. And so I made a lot of mistakes. And so I'm going to talk about the mistakes that I made and how I learned from them, how I am making the buttons now. And yeah, I'm just going to show you what I have now. And so if you're interested in watching, if not, that's fine. But I just think that I like to show what I'm doing and what I'm going to be doing for my box cards in the future. So I'm gonna take everything out of the box and show you. Okay, so when I first got the box, it had a lot more things in it. and I used a lot. I used basically all of the 1 1/4 inch buttons that came with it, and I used a lot of, but not all of the 1 inch buttons. But it came with these things, and let me just say, this one is to cut the images for the 1 inch buttons, and it is so difficult to use. This one is a little bit easier because it's a little bit bigger, but it's still difficult. And this one is a lot easier, but I still made some mistakes. So I'm saving these. I ended up having I posted some button images on Facebook, and friends of mine who own a shop in Bakersfield asked me if they could sell them, and so I brought them over and I showed them. I brought a sample of the bigger ones with their logo, and they asked me to make them a whole bunch of buttons with their logo to give away to their customers for free, and so I did. And I ended up learning a lot on how to make the buttons so that they stay, because sometimes the buttons were not crimping right. So, and I had a lot of problems with that. So these are the backings for the metal backings, but I only got one pack of this for the 1 inch buttons only. I don't know why. All of the rest of the button materials that they sent me, like these are what's left of the 1 inch buttons. This is what they sent me for the 1 inch buttons, and then they sent me this, but only one of those, and this is all I have left of the of the 1 1/4 inch. And then these are left over from the box of 300 for the 1 1/4 inch, as well as this. So I'm going to take those out actually. And here's more of those. No, wait. That's the 1 inch. This is a 1 1/4 inch. Yeah. And then here are some that came in the box. And here are the backings for the 1 inch. Here's some tools. Here's the backings for the 2 1/4 inch. And here are the metal discs for those. Here's the actual machine. And then these three boxes have, this is for the 2 1/4 inch button. This is for the 1 1/4 inch button. This is for the 1 inch button. So I'm going to pull all these out, and I'm actually going to make some of these. So I'm just going to go ahead and open this. It's going to be kind of difficult with one hand. So I'm going to put this on my desk. Okay, so first I made this guide for myself, so that when I'm in my imaging software, which is GIMP, I'll know exactly what size everything has to be in pixels and in inches. It's easier to just have it in pixels. So when I make my my image, I do the registration mark first, which is red. I have a template that I use, so I don't have to go through all this. So I have all of these sizes in here. So I have, this is what my registration mark looks like. And the reason I use that, and I'll show you in a few minutes, is because it's easier to find when I go to cut the images. So the registration mark is 550 pixels, 1.83 inches. The actual paper size is 519 pixels, 1.73 inches. And the badge size itself is 1.25 inches, or 375 pixels. And if I want to overlap the image so that it goes underneath, so that you can kind of see the image in here, then I've got it at 1.35 inches or 405 pixels. Same thing with all the other sizes, except I didn't do this one because I haven't really made any images yet for this size, except I did make these for a friend of mine who owns a shop called Enchanted Cottage in Bakersfield. And it's just white, so it's not like I had to make any adjustments. I have my badge size, which is the image, and then paper size, and then I did my registration mark so that when I was able to, or so that when I cut the image, it would be easier to find because of all the whiteness. So, and so here's the product of that. See the, there's a motorcycle. Okay, so like this one, the badge size is the exact size, 375 pixels. And then I did the background, which is part of the purple in this, and then my registration mark. And so I did that because when I did this one, Love Wins, let me see if I can find it. I probably won't be able to find it. When I did the here it is. When I did the Love Wins the first time, it kind of, I mean, it wasn't that bad, but it's kind of was too high up. See, and there was another one, I can't remember which one, but it just wasn't, it wasn't centered properly when I put it in or when I cut it. I don't know, but so I did this so that I would be able to, you know, do everything on the computer. This paper, at first I was using 27-pound presentation paper from Epson, and this is what was suggested, 27 pounds. I found that to be really thin, and the machine and also the when you buy extra buttons, it comes with these little white pieces of paper. I don't know what the point of giving me so many of those was, but anyway, those were a lot thicker than the 27 pounds. So I bought, and this just came today, the HP Premium 32. And it says color lock, bolder black, vivid colors, faster drying time. It said on Amazon that it's glossy, but it's not. But that doesn't really matter because it's going to have that Mylar on it to make it glossy anyway. But the pictures do, I mean, the images do look a lot better. So anyway, so this is a lot thicker, and I was having a lot of issues with the other, when I was making a lot of the buttons, is that the two pieces would not clamp on, like the metal part would not crimp properly to the back. So I'm going to take these away and bring in the machine, and I'll show you what I did to ensure that the backing, the pin back is on straight every time. I kind of zoomed out a little so that I could show you this is what the machine looks like without the plates on. And so here's this is for the 1 1/4 inch. So this just goes inside here. Actually, I got to put this one on first. This is the top part. So this one goes in here easily. There's a little metal, there's a little metal piece right here that slides in here, and it basically just locks in with a magnet. So you put that in there, you put this in here, and you gotta lift this part up, and then you can pull it out, and then put this thing here. So I have some images already cut, but I'm going to show what the what the cutters look like, and what cutters that I ended up buying to replace those. So it's just so easy. You just put that in there. That's the metal part. And then here's the Mylar. So I'm gonna put this in here, and it's gotta go in really straight. And then I gotta put my backing in here. See, I put these, I put this piece of tape on here because once you punch it down on this, then this thing turns a little bit. So when you put the backing in, it's a little blurry. I don't know why it's blurry. So when you put the backing in, you've got to put it in at an angle. So I've got it so that it goes in, it's got to go in straight, or like at the top of these. That's good enough. So I'm going to put Mylar in here first. Okay, and these stick together. So is that in there straight? Looks like it. So that's going to go down, and then now it's gone because it's in the top thing. And now I'm going to, let me make sure that's still in straight. So now I got it pulled down really hard, and now here's my button, and the backing is on exactly the way it's supposed to be. And see, I gotta go like this, hold on to the pin, and then hold on to the outside and just pull on it to make sure that it doesn't come apart. So see, I got the image exactly around the front, and then the color is just around the sides. And I did that intentionally for this one because I want the graphics to be on the front. I don't want to lose any of these colors to the sides. So I figured just the purple would be fine for that. And that's this one. So you can see how much purple was on there, and now you can't see it because it's on the side and it's on the inside of the button. And it's necessary to have such a big circle. And what annoys me about when I was buying a lot of all of these images are on Cricut Design Space, and I put them over into the GIMP program. I couldn't have done this many on one page with the Cricut Design Space, so I had to use an external program. But the images that I buy from other websites, there's a website called designbundles.net where I buy all of my graphics for buttons. They only sell the single image. They don't sell all this background that I've put in, or the registration mark. So all of those images I have to take, and I have to add all this to it, and then just put the graphic into the middle, and hope that I've got the right background. Like here is a steampunk one, and this one was okay, but well, this is a good example of one of the things that I messed up. I didn't center the image when I cut it, so you'll see image down here, but up here it's mostly white. So that's a good example of learning, trial and error. So even though these look acceptable, it's, you know, messed up, and so those are mine only. So I'm going to show what I do to cut the images. These are the cutters that came with the machine, and these are kind of difficult to use. you have to unscrew this and put it on there, and you have to slide this down to here and then screw it on, and then you have to put your circle down here, and you have to make sure that it's centered, otherwise it's not going to cut properly. And then you place it down here and spin it around. But the problem is that I end up destroying my desk. This is supposed to be a self-healing, and I guess it's kind of healed. I really ruined right here at the bottom of this green mat, and you can't really see it. I ended up using a old Cricut mat, especially when I had to make these bigger buttons for Enchanted Cottage. I had to use a old Cricut mat so that I wouldn't destroy my desktop, and so I ended up destroying a Cricut mat completely. I had to throw it away because it was starting to cut through the Cricut mat. It did a really good job though. But anyway, I just finally decided to buy these, and I just got it today, and it's already got schmutz all over it. So this one is 1 1/3 or 1 3/4 rather, and you just basically put the image in here. Of course, I'm gonna have to cut the top off. Let me open it. I have to cut the top off. You put that in there and then you stamp it down. I'm just gonna cut the top off real quick. It's easier to use a X-Acto blade rather than scissors. So all I do, basically, I have to have this upside down to be able to use it, is just, I have to hold it up to as centered as I can, and I have to push down on it a little bit just to make sure that it doesn't move around. So now that I've done that, I'm just going to do that, and there's my little image. And you can see that I didn't exactly go around the red, but I think it's centered enough that it's fine, I hope. So let me do another one. So I just kind of gently squeeze on it just to keep the paper from moving around because of my shaky hands. And I try to get that in there centered. So that's pretty centered. So I go like that. I turn it upside down so that I don't, because it's gonna want to go inside here, and I don't want that to happen. So that was more centered. So that's what I bought for this size. For the 1-inch size, I got this because this is the only one that they had. This one is, these cuts are, circles are perfect. They fit perfectly in there. But the ones for the 1-inch don't cut perfectly. They're actually a little bit smaller. So when I actually go to make the button, I'm gonna have to stand over the button maker to make sure it's centered before I make the buttons. So that's going to be a little bit more difficult, but I'm really happy that this one was so perfect. And apparently most button machines are different. The stamps that they need for some machines for the 1-inch is 1.313 inches, I think. Or maybe that's this one. I don't remember, but yeah, 1.313 for the paper size for some machines. But this one is 1.38 inches. So it was kind of difficult to find circle cutters for this, or circle punches for this machine. But this one is perfect. And so I'm going to be getting better stamps from this circle punch than I was ever was with this thing. And so I'm very happy with the circle punches for this one. And so yeah, I'm making a lot of buttons for my Etsy site, and I'll show you. So these are what I've made already. I have a lot. So my latest pack, or my latest set that I just made are these Tree of Life buttons. This is the 1-inch, and I have 3 sets of these, and then I've got the steampunk, and then I have the this only has three packages. Horror, oh no, there are 4 actually, but I think there are 4. I think, yeah, somebody bought the 4th one. So these are horror comics. These are all on designbundles.net. So let me put these back and show you. Just like this, I'll do sort them later. So those are that size. Here are the LGBT ones that I made originally. I had 3 sets, and 1, I guess, pack 3 sold. But this new one, these new ones that I have here, I actually found more images on Cricut Design Space, so I now have 30 images instead of just 15 images. So these are the ones that I've made so far, and this actually is different because this is the one that I've chosen for the bear now instead of this one. So I'm still going to have these on the Etsy site, but I'm going to be focusing more on the newer ones that I've just been cutting. And this is the bigger size of the Tree of Life, the blue Tree of Life. For some reason, when I replaced my blue ink, the bigger ones printed out so much bluer than these. I'm not sure if you can even tell in this image, but these are so much bluer, and the colors are so much richer. And but I mean, in some lighting, these are actually too dark, and these are actually perfect. But I do love the richness and color in this one. And so I got these 4. I made actually 3 sets. So that's that. Put this back this way. And then here's the Halloween ones that I have, vintage Halloween ones. And actually, Enchanted Cottage wanted to sell some of these. So let me do this so you can see them better. And I don't have these inside this this stack of the 1-inch buttons, but I do have them ready to be packaged up. So these are the Halloween ones. You're probably not going to be able to see it that well because of the lighting. Let me turn this off. So this is what they look like. And I like the vintage look. I think that's really kind of cool. And I bought some Christmas ones, but I have to make them. I mean, vintage Christmas ones. And then here are the horror comics, all 4 packages. And I love comic books. I don't read them as often as I used to, but I really love comic books. And I thought these would make a good, kind of addition to my Etsy shop. And then the last one that I have made are the steampunk ones, and I guess number 3 is gone. So that's the ones that I have so far in my Etsy shop, and I'm still packaging up some other ones, and I'm making my LGBT ones, and I have a whole bunch that I'm going to be making for my box cards that are Halloween themed, that are not the same as these. And then I have some, and those are for my Halloween box cards, and I have some Thanksgiving ones for my Thanksgiving box cards, and Christmas for my Christmas box cards. Plus, there are some Easter ones that are going to be for, say it with me, Easter box cards. And so, I just thought these would make a better decoration for the box cards that would also be functional. You could take it off and, like I said, kid could put it on their backpack or their jacket, hoodie, whatever. Or if somebody wears suspenders like I do and they can put it on the suspenders, I think that would look pretty cool to have all this flair on you. And so that's the impulse purchase that I bought for my Etsy shop, the button machine. And I think so far it's pretty much paid off. I've sold quite a few, plus having the Enchanted Cottage ask me to make them some 2¼ inch buttons. I think that's pretty cool. So yeah, I'm gonna get back to making or cutting all of these LGBT button images so that I can make them and get them packaged up and put them in my Etsy shop. And by the time you see this video, they'll hopefully be there. So I want to thank you for watching my video, and I want to thank you for liking my videos and subscribing, and I'll catch you in the next one. See you later.